Now, most of the videos that you're going to see online are going to be talking about, the love and light energies of the eclipse, but they're going to be avoiding the world situation, right? Some of them might discuss the malevolent nature of the eclipses, but few will, right? The reality is, many people, in my opinion, come under demonic influence. Now, I don't follow one particular religion. There are other terms that I've used in the past also, including archonic mind control and the archonic influence. I've been speaking about these things for years. And a lot of people in today's society, even though it's interested in paranormal movies, right? A lot of them are clueless. When I go over to perplexity.ai, which is open source AI, and I say, hey, AI, tell me about the other people that are warning about the effects of the eclipse, it shows me no one, right? Now, is AI capable of showing me that? Yes, it's capable of showing me that. But will it show me that? No. And someone found me on Facebook that was drawn to talk to me, and I looked at her videos, and she confirmed a lot of what I thought about with regards to the eclipse. But in some ways, right, I've gone much further because I've long been aware that the eclipses are periods in which people become possessed and do harmful things to others, whether it be a murder, whether it be other forms of harm or sabotage. And so these are times in which I advise people to protect themselves spiritually, right? Now, you should know what that means by now. You should be something more than a child, right? I know this society is telling you that it's okay to play violent video games and watch extreme forms of pornography and to abuse your body with drugs and alcohol. And I think the healthy use of cannabis, right, can be a spiritual experience, but a lot of people out there don't use it for medicinal, spiritual purposes. They want to get high, 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 high. And sometimes there are negative entities or attachments that attach themselves to people that do drugs. That includes pharmaceutical drugs that some doctors think is A-OK and totally in line with God's law. They are so full of it, and many of them will too face God's judgment for their deliberate intentional poisoning of their clients, of their patients. So I have some advice for you during this time, right? First thing is look at what's happening in your local town, right? And don't be naive. Look at your local paper. Look at the local big cities next to you. Now look at the big cities in Texas. Now look at the big cities in Oregon, in California, in New York, in Florida, right? Look at Chicago and tell me everything looks A-OK. No, it doesn't look A-OK. In all those places, you're going to see violence and you're going to see stories of road rage and people being shot in the head. In Portland, Oregon, a guy was shot in the head, a road rage incident at the corner of 10th and Alder. We also saw an increase in other violent stories, right, in the weeks leading up to this because the effects of the eclipse take place in the days, weeks, months, even years in and around these eclipses. A lot of people don't know the effects of the solar flares as well, which bring us more wars, more civil unrest. And if you want more info on that, right, contact me directly or subscribe to this channel. But I do ask that people contact me directly if they're getting something out of this content, because I've been speaking about these things for years, and I'm telling you right now, most people in the conspiracy movement, most people in the New Age movement are full of shit and are channeling demons. They're not of the light because they're being influenced by this blue light, by this technology, right? On that topic, you might want to get yourself some blue light glasses. I'm not using them at the moment, but I have taken more time off from streaming video content in the weeks leading up to this moment, intuitively knowing in my heart, without having to find a blog, without having to find a teacher, without having to find a YouTube channel to give me the answers, because I am my own teacher and I have my own discernment. I know when I'm looking at genuine, truthful information and things that are to come, and I know when I'm dealing with fake news, not Donald Trump fake news, like when he says fake news, when he says fake news is of the left. No, I'm talking about like right-wing fake news conspiracy trash that is there to disrupt the real truth movement. Just like there is a false God that is trying to take the place of the true God, right? And so this is a time in which you need to boot out the fake friends in your life. whether they be on Facebook, whether they be in your YouTube comment section, right? In some cases, if they're abusing you in some places, you need to turn off the comment section. This is a time for some of you to grow a pair and be a man, be a real man, be a real woman, assert yourself and expose the evil one of our reality. Take in a deep breath that prana, that power, and release the old you, right? Declare with full power that the old you is dead and the new powerful you has arrived. And even if your flesh is struck down, right, you will still rise in spirit and continue to help humanity. That you will not be stuck in the abyss, that you will not be stuck in the netherworlds or the purgatory realms, right? That you will truly ascend spiritually. Unfortunately, many people think that they are going to ascend and levitate physically, and they're not in line with the true teachings of Christ, even if some of them want Christians to pray for them, right? As I've seen some people do. If you really want God's protection, you must follow God's law. And there are many people out there that are murdering people. Look at the 500 dead in Gaza. Look at what Hamas has done in Israel. But of course, Hamas does not truly represent the Palestinian people. And people that support Palestinians around the world, some of them are brainwashed into thinking that it's okay to support Hamas without realizing that it's all controlled opposition. So in these periods in which we are in which we are meant to grow spiritually, those that are controlling the governments around the world, they stage wars to take us away from having a spiritual experience in our lives. They bring us fear. They bring us terror. They put some people on the run, right? Even myself, I have faced persecution for my words, speaking out against the evil one, speaking out against the demiurge and its archons, right? So if you're going to go against the evil one, you got to clean house. And I can remember during the last eclipse coming under a certain form of spiritual attack and my life changing from that point on, right? And experiencing great levels of bad luck. And it lasted for a few years and then it tapered off. And I want to hope and believe and have faith that our answers, our prayers will be answered, will be heard by the angels in this 2023, late 2023 eclipse leading into the April 2024 eclipse. Even though these are malevolent times, and you need to be aware of that, the killings, the murders, the rapes, everything. These are also times in which angels can intervene in our world. Even though AI seems to be in control of a lot of things in our society, right? The higher realms can at times intervene and connect us with the right information. Sometimes autoplay will present us with good information. But oftentimes, right, you can't trust what's suggested by the algorithm. So I would suggest that you find a spiritual practice that works for you, that you use this energy that is available to you at this time to grow. You should know right now that we're 3 days past the new moon. And the new moon has a very strong effect in the 3 days prior and the 3 days after. Same thing with the full moon. It is not a sin or against God to know how we are affected by the stars, the moon, and the sun. And there are people that are in control of some of these religions. There are people that are brainwashed by some of these religions that are not living the true teachings of Christ, right? They preach out of one side of their mouth, forgive, forgive, forgive. And on the other side of their mouth, on the other hand, right, they bomb innocent countries and people back to the Stone Age, and they bear false witness against them, calling them ISIS, calling them terrorists, when many of these people are not, right? You want to evolve spiritually beyond this world? Help people that are being oppressed. Don't murder. Don't support people that murder. Don't support people that support people that murder. Don't support people that support people that support people that murder. And on and on and on it goes, like a hall of mirrors. Can you hear me now, right? I pray in Jesus' name that AI and the algorithm will not prevail in holding back this video. I pray that people all across the nation tonight hear this video and respond in the comments with what you are feeling, with what is going on in your life, with what things are happening in your neighborhood. I was recording a live stream during the eclipse on Facebook, and I was censored multiple times, and I was calling for true cooperation amongst the world's populations, the Chinese, the Russians, the Arabs, the Latinos, the Asians, right? Those of African American heritage, right? We need to come together against this global demonic system. Now, there's a lot of people out there that are celebrating the eclipse, and they got the special eclipse glasses, and they're sitting outside, and I don't think that's a good idea. The Native Americans went inside when there was an eclipse. They didn't hang out outside and have a party. Maybe some did, but from what I understand, they and the ancients view the eclipses with a rational concern, right? It was viewed as a ominous time. And so we look at the world situation now, and clearly the world powers are moving us towards world war. They know what they are doing. And in a more conscious world, we would not be at war, right? We would not be, in some cases, starving or in poverty in different places around the world. We would be deeply involved in some form of spiritual practice. So there's various faiths that I look at. I believe that some of us have the God-given discernment to find the essence of God in different spiritual traditions. Don't just look at the Bible. You can go over to YouTube, type in Sufism and Jinn if you're open-minded, right? I know a lot of you have only been shown, quote unquote, the bad Muslims, but the powers that be will never show you the deeply spiritual Muslims that are calling out the devil's agenda in this world. The Muslims that are also calling out the new world order, right? You should access your true, full, spiritual, intellectual capacity at this time and grow your mind, because all this addiction to streaming video content and YouTube and BitChute is acting like some sort of a medication or a drug to some individual. It's like some sort of an antipsychotic, to where maybe they're not on drugs, right? They're not on an SSRI, but the internet and the social media is rotting their brain, right? And I'm talking about people that didn't even take the vaccine. Many, many people that did not take the vaccine currently are showing themselves to be dumber than rocks. And I'm not saying that you should take the vaccine. I'm saying that a lot of these people that are acting like they're high and mighty because they didn't take the jab seem to be totally clueless that these algorithms are manipulating them into darkness. And so pray, meditate, fast, eat healthy food, avoid junk food, avoid strip clubs, avoid fights, avoid arguing, and immerse yourself in a deep spiritual practice. Involve yourself in the martial arts, the spiritual martial arts. Leave that MMA for the birds, for the thugs, for the gangsters, right? Involve yourself in true spiritual martial arts in which self-discipline is valued, in which spirituality and your internal energy is valued, right? Being addicted to technology, being addicted to your smartphone, being addicted to these forms of entertainment, which in many cases bear evil spirits, is not going to help us evolve. And in this world of 5G, smart meters, cell phones, Wi-Fi, this frequency, this unnatural electromagnetic frequency is a conduit for spirits that travel in and out of this reality. And I was called by God long ago, right, to speak about these things. I took a break for a number of years because I needed the break, and the world became very, very dark, but I have emerged again from the ashes with a mission to help you. Because for me, this isn't about making money. This is about saving souls. And in the act of trying to save your soul with information, right, I set myself free from this physical plane of reality, this matrix simulation. Because what we're really trying to do is work our way back home, up where we belong.